I went back and I pulled the lyrics off of On the Sunday Side of Life, but you hardly wrote anything.
No,
on there,
I didn't.
Right?
No,
and now your lyrics. I mean, that's the reason I came to you in the first place, because of Fear of the Blank Planet, which is where I picked you up and then started going backwards. And I think, were you dying to write lyrics then, or were you not confident then, or what? Why not? Why not start? Yeah, talk.
All of the above.
All
really.
of the above. Okay.
I never wanted to be a singer. I never wanted to be a guitar player. I wanted to be. You see, I don't know. Maybe we talked about this before too. My experience, my first experience of music, and what really turned me on to music, was this idea of being able to be the architect of a record, of an album. And the people I really admired when I was a kid were people like Jeff Lynne of Electric Light Orchestra.
Wow, yeah.
Or Roger Waters of Pink Floyd, and not necessarily the greatest musicians, but they had this kind of vision to create records, or albums more specifically.
Yeah, Out of the Blue from ELO. Wow, what a great double. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, and so it was almost like I fell in love with the idea of actually being a producer. I didn't even know what that was at the time, but I realised now, sort of in retrospect, what I really wanted to be was a producer. I wanted to be Brian Wilson. I wanted to be Todd Rundgren. I wanted to be Jeff Lynne. I wanted to be one of these great architects of these incredible records. But I didn't really know what was involved in production at that time. So in the end, I taught myself to play a little bit guitar and started to write songs and started to experiment with overdubbing and stuff like that. And I started to join bands, some of which I was singing for and some of which I wasn't, some of which I was just a guitar player, one of which I was just a keyboard player. Yeah. And Porcupine Tree started out as more of a kind of psychedelic inspired project. I wasn't so much into the more serious album orientated side at that point. Porcupine Tree was going to be a bit of fun, a one-off album. Actually, it was a one-off cassette. It was going to be a one-off cassette, just with every track kind of pastiching a different psychedelic or progressive band. Okay. And I did a Pink Floyd pastiche. I did a kind of Birds pastiche. I did a Soft Machine pastiche. I did all these pastiches.
And pastiche means just sort of an on or two or whatever.
Taking their sound and encapsulating.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
And that actually was the first cassette, and it had sort of pastiches of all these different bands on it. And I took a bunch of lyrics from a buddy of mine wrote that were very kind of inspired by the kind of Lewis Carroll, very psychedelic, the Strawberry Fields, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, that kind
Butterfly
of thing.
Song, right?
Yeah, Butterflies, and used them, and they seemed to work. As Porcupine Tree began to grow into something more, I realised that I had to start writing my own lyrics. Yeah. And it wasn't something I was naturally inclined to do, but having started to do it, I wanted to do it well, so I took a lot of care over doing it.
Yeah.